If healing were easy, we'd all be Olympic champions by now, but here we are, still tripping over our own shoelaces. Welcome back to Bargain Brand Wellness, where the trends are hot, even if today's topics are absolutely freezing. I'm convinced that if 2025 wellness trends keep going the way they are, next year's big thing will just be eating a pine cone for its earthly energy. Today we're covering wellness trends that are so good, they might actually work. And so ridiculous, they may make you question your life choices. Welcome to Wellness. Glad to have you all here. Excited to have you. Welcome for another fun-filled, miraculous Monday episode. Thanks for being here, my wellness warriors, my self-care connoisseurs, my students of wellness. I love you. I appreciate all the support, and we're over here doing our thing. We're energized and we're having fun. We are live currently on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok. Yes, 4 streams at the same time. How does he do it, ladies and gentlemen? Nobody knows. A lot of wires running through my office. That's all I can tell you. And 2 computers. But hey, we're making it work. We're making it work. Welcome. Hopefully you guys are ready for a great show. We'll kind of get into our topics here shortly as we kind of wait for people to get settled in. Hopefully they do, which is kind of the reason we start a little early, 15 minutes early, gives people time to get in here. That way they can kind of interact with us as we're waiting, and we can kick the show off right away. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell anyone who's interested in wellness. Make sure you jump in here by the time we go live at 8:30. I'm here interacting with people as they're typing stuff in the chat, and I don't want you to miss a thing. FOMO is a real thing. If you've never heard of it, FOMO is the fear of missing out. Guess what? You're missing out when you're not here on time. And I want to make sure you get all the wellness tips we've got. Not just from myself, but from our other audience members. So, once again, we're happy to have you here. We're excited to get going on this Monday. And yeah. Drinking my herbal tea this evening. Right, it's my sleepy time chamomile tea. I finished my my detox, liver and kidney detox tea. I finished it on Sunday. It was like an 8-day regimen. I'm not gonna lie, I feel slightly less bloated. I still try to watch what I eat. I try to cut it back on the carbs as much as I can. What carbs I do get or do eat, I try to consume mostly at dinner. Try to avoid as many as I can for breakfast and lunch. But yeah, I did feel a little bloated. Had a couple nice releases. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want to be too graphic, but yeah, so, not bad taste. Hello, Mother. Thanks for being over here on YouTube. Appreciate it. Which is kind of where we're trying to drive everybody to. So thank you for being over here. I don't know how long we're going to do the Facebook thing. As long as we keep getting viewers, we'll keep doing Facebook. But ideally, I'd like to get people coming over to YouTube, TikTok, or Twitch. We haven't had much success on Twitch, but it doesn't hurt anything being over, so we're just going to stay over there. But hopefully you guys are enjoying the weather down in Kentucky. It was a nice warm one today. Not too hot, a little chilly this morning. But yeah, nice day out altogether. Nice day for some softball. Got my pool filled up. Just got to run some chemicals through it, and it should be good to go. Did hit a little bit of a snafu, and I got to replace. It's a brand new pump, and I guess the cord that we had plugged into, the extension cord that we had plugged it into, it kind of melted. I guess, over this, maybe from the hot summer heat. It still works, but it was starting to smoke, so I got to replace the whole cord. I was just going to cut off the plug end, and I started thinking that wire is only about 6 feet long. Why don't we just trace it all the way back to the pump and just replace the whole cord? Just be safe. Did I cut my hair? No, I did not cut my hair. Danielle braided my hair. No, Debbie, I did not cut my hair. I just left it in. Chloe had a softball game, and Caden tied my hair in a knot. And Danielle came back and braided it. I just haven't taken it out yet. So no, I thought it might look like I cut my hair. Hello, Ashley Marine. How are you doing on this miraculous Monday? We're over here having fun. We're getting ready to kick off our first segment. We're talking about how the temperature, was pretty nice out today, but we're going to get into more of a frigid topic here in just a moment. But yeah, we're enjoying. As I mentioned, enjoying my chamomile tea out of my New York Giants mug. For the first time in several years, I can kind of say currently drinking out my New York Giants mug with a little pride. They've had 2 good drafts 2 years in a row. I don't know. My hopes are high. My hopes are high for the NFL season for my Giants. I don't know. We'll see. They got 3 quarterbacks that could, we'll see. I don't quite know what they're doing, but I like the moves. I'm really excited about their defense next year. If nothing else, I'm excited about their defense. But I digress. This isn't a sports podcast. This is a wellness podcast, and we're getting ready to get into our first topic here in just a moment. While we do that, though, I do have a couple new things for my viewers over on TikTok. I had to run more cables, but I was able to run cables from my computer to my other device so that you are able to see what my audience sees on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I was able to install capture cards, so now when I have stuff up on screen that our viewers see, you get to see it as well. So currently, what another little kind of in-between segments that we're going to do, kind of why it's quiet, are just some kind of fillers, some conversation starters, or if nothing else, just to kind of fill time. Quick wellness tip of the day. While we're here getting ready for this next segment, here's a quick wellness tip you didn't ask for, but you probably needed. If you're feeling overwhelmed for whatever reason, drink some water, step outside for 5 minutes, and stare at the sky. Bonus points if you can name a cloud after the worst coworker you could think of. Someone who I don't want to say you wish harm upon this person, but if you found out that something bad happened to this person, you might be like, makes sense. So, something as simple as just doing that. Stepping outside, having a glass of water, and staring up at the sky. Right? Almost sounds like a little bit of mindfulness, if you ask me. At least a little bit. At least pretty close to it. See a couple people popping in and out on TikTok. Feel free to stick around if you're into wellness tips. We're over here having a good time. The title of today's stream, if you didn't notice, is Reset Your Life, Hypothermia, No Tech, and Laughing for No Reason. I think I was kind of working with Nova over the weekend, and we're trying to find some different ways to kind of make our segments a little bit more interactive and kind of have people kind of know which episode they're kind of tuning in for. Our current trend of what we're going for is that Mondays are going to be kind of wellness trend days. Things that I've heard about, things that you can bring, new wellness trends. And when I say wellness trends, I'm talking about anything. Is there a new supplement out in there? Is there some new superfood you've heard about? Some new exercise? Some sort of mental health thing, right? Any type of wellness, bring it with you. Share it with us. We'll dive into it. I look at a lot of wellness stuff. There's a good chance you bring something. I've probably heard of it, but I don't know everything, right? So bring it to us and share it. Who knows what we might figure out together. So Mondays are looking to kind of be our wellness trend day. So you can kind of look forward to that. Wednesdays are kind of going to just be a mix of just anything and everything wellness. But I think we're going to make Nova a recurring guest on Wednesdays, at least for the time being, until we decide if and when we're going to start inviting guests on the show. And then I think for Fridays, because the last couple Fridays have been pretty quiet, I think is where we might go. We're kind of labeling it BBW After Dark. Not super dark humor topics like we did on the other show, but more into kind of the conspiracy weird facts kind of realm, just having a little bit more fun. It's still wellness, but look at wellness through the lens of creative thinking, right? Creative thinking, conversation, right? Kind of more in that realm. I haven't really decided the time for Friday, but it might be a little bit later, and we'll probably go a little bit longer. So that's kind of the vibe. Mondays are wellness trends. Wednesday is anything and everything wellness with Nova, and Fridays is BBW after dark. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Yo, Joey Twig, thanks for joining us over here on TikTok. We're glad to hear you, bud. Glad to see you. I mean, thank you for liking the live. Turn that echo down a little. Am I echoing a little bit? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Let me turn myself down a little bit. I had to turn the volume off of my... Hopefully that's a little bit better. Hopefully that's not too bad. Yeah, I don't know what it was doing. I could, on the laptop, I could hear myself, which is weird. It's never done that. So I muted it on my end. Try lowering your background music. I don't have any background music. So is that a little bit better, Joey? Not really. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over here. I didn't change anything in the settings. It's almost like it's monitoring my mic. Sounds like you have a filter on something. No, I don't. It's weird because it's I'm not even using OBS for this. I'm just simply using the TikTok app. Turn this up real quick. Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I don't know why we're getting extra feedback for some reason. Sorry about that, Joey. We'll just have to. We'll go with it. Hopefully, it's not too bad. I'll try to turn it down just a little bit more. That is so weird. What if I mute the audio? I mute the desktop audio. Does that help? Whatever I just did. Okay. I muted the desktop audio. I never had to do that before, but keep it like that. Okay. We'll keep it like that then. Cool. Thanks, Joey. All right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little bit of a technical issue on TikTok. Perfect. Thank you. That's weird. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into our first topic here. We got a few. We got some viewers on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, which is where we like people. Eventually, we'd like to get people over on Twitch, but we get it. Twitch is more of a gaming channel, so don't feel like you have to go over there. We'll get people in there if we can. If not, it's whatever. It's whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this first episode and or first segment, and we'll do our thing. Cold plunges. Ever heard of them? Because apparently if you're willing to throw yourself into icy water, you can become a better and shinier version of yourself. Either that or a human popsicle, science is still deciding. Also, because why not casually give yourself a case of hypothermia in the name of mental clarity? Cold plunges aren't just for Olympic swimmers and overconfident CrossFit guys anymore. No, sir. Now, your next door neighbor once thought a HIIT workout involved yelling at her kids is filming herself plunging into a barrel full of freezing water. Here's kind of the idea. Cold plunges can reduce inflammation. They flood your body with a happy chemical like dopamine. They boost your metabolism, toughen your nervous system, and make you feel like you just slayed a dragon. Unfortunately, cold plunging isn't for everyone. So let's watch a short clip of people struggling with frigid water. He's definitely feeling it. That's funny. uh, uh, so let's be honest. There's a fine line between resilience and mild hypothermia. And no influencer shows you the part where they sob quietly into a towel afterward. Yes, there are studies that suggest cold exposure can be beneficial, but, and this is a big but, it's not a cure-all. If you're sleeping 4 hours a night, living on Red Bull, and arguing with strangers on Reddit, a cold plunge isn't going to save you. It's just going to make you a very tired, very wet, and very angry statistic. Funny story, I tried taking a cold shower once after reading about it, all these benefits. I turned the water to Arctic levels and immediately reconsidered every life decision I ever made. My brain was screaming, my soul left my body, and the only resilience I built was the ability to whimper quieter so my neighbors wouldn't call the cops. I literally could not keep most of my body in the cold water, with the exception of my hands. Here's kind of my takeaway. If you love cold plunges and they genuinely make you feel alive, awesome. I'd like to try one for myself. More power to you, you human popsicle. But if you hate them, guess what? You're not broken. It's actually pretty normal. At the end of the day, your wellness journey doesn't have to involve fighting frostbite. It just needs to involve doing things that genuinely serve you, even if that means choosing a warm bath and a warm cookie. Bam. Hey, Charles Winfield, how you doing over there, buddy? Thanks for being here. Jerry says the first step is not the hardest. It's like the second or third step when you're when your tennis balls hit the water. Listen, any guy can attest that. Any guy. That's the hardest part of getting into the pool. The feet are a little cold. You get up to about the knees. It's like, it's not bad. Get midway up the inner thigh. But then once that midsection hits, right? Once that bottom part of your midsection touches the water, we scream like little girls. Aye! It just has a way that it affects us. I have not tried an ice bath. I definitely want to try it. I heard, I haven't researched this too much yet, but I have heard that it has really great healing effects on your body. I did hear that, especially like after a workout and you're sore, you jump into one of those ice baths and it just kind of puts your body into healing mode. A friend of mine, Steven, who's been on here before with us, he had one, and he talked to me about the dopamine hit that you get from it. He goes, and it lasts hours. You feel better because it sends your body in that shock mode. And he goes, after you get out, you're just, bam, you're just cloud nine. That's what I really want it for. Yeah. So I thought it's not really the best time of the year to share it. Cold plunges are easy in the wintertime because you don't really have to do much of the water. Just leave it outside and it'll stay cold. This is the time of year where if you still want to do it, you kind of need something that's going to keep your water warm. Any of my friends on here who ever watches the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, he talks about his cold plunge quite often. He says he uses it pretty much every day. And he loves it. He says as much as he does it, he still hates to do it, but he knows the benefits that he's getting from it, and he'll get in. And Joe's a madman. He says that he doesn't just keep it cold. He keeps it down like 34 degrees, but he has the water moving, so that way it kind of reduces that thermal layer that you kind of produce, so it's even colder. Most of us would get in like 40 or 50 degree water, and but have it want completely still because it's not as bad. Joe's a madman. Ashley says people with cancer and going through chemo are now using cold caps to help with loosening your hair. Okay. What do you mean loosen? Oh, help with. Are now using cold caps to help with losing your hair. What do you mean? So does it help it grow back? That's interesting. I had not heard of that one. Joey says you just got to jump in. I agree. I think that is the biggest thing. You just got to jump in. And honestly, I that was a true story. I did try to take a cold shower last year, early in the morning, and I literally could not do it. I could only get up to my elbow, and my body, I wasn't even controlling my arm would just pull away. I've never had my body do that. It prevents you from losing your hair from going bald during chemo. I did not know that, Ashley. That is interesting. That I'd never heard that before. That must be a relatively new thing. You would think that they would have figured something like that out years ago, though. You know what I mean? I hope it works. That's something we should definitely share with people. I've seen I don't know if you guys have ever seen those ones. I've seen them on like the TikTok shop or whatnot. Those migraine masks. You put them in the freezer and it's like real tight, just folds over your head, covers your eyes, and you just wear it if you have a migraine. It's supposed to work pretty well. It's newer. I wish I had that option. Yeah, definitely. I think it's funny that something like that, something so simple, is a new development. Like, how did we not know that keeping your head, I guess, really cold would actually help keep people from losing their hair? I mean, especially during chemo, right? I mean, how many women, not just women, but men too, have lost their hair from that type of treatment? So. Got a streamer over here, streamer. We have a viewer over here on Twitch. Unfortunately, I think it's a bot. Joey, you might know this one a little bit better than I do. It says, cheap viewers on streamboo.com. And then it gives me some sort of ad with a bunch of numbers. I'm going to assume that that's some sort of a troll trying to get people to come over and check their channel. That's streamboo.com. That sounds a little sus. Just saying. Omnipotent Presenter 35T. That sounds a little sus if you ask me. But hey, if you're into wellness, stick around. Have a good time. Anybody interested in weird wellness facts? Well, even if you're not, guess what? You're here, so you gotta listen to what I have to say. Here's a weird one. Did you know that laughing for 15 minutes can burn about 40 calories? Which basically means if you laugh at this stream for an hour, you can totally skip leg day. Just saying. The cold cap looks painful though. I gotta look this up. We're gonna pivot. Anybody ever watch the show Friends? Pivot. I gotta look this up, Ashley. You got me curious now. That's why we do this. See, when I see cold caps for chemotherapy. Let me show you guys this. It looks like a helmet. I mean, I guess if it's like really cold, I guess that would be painful. Almost like the hell, I just had brain freeze. I just had a brain freeze. Definitely looks like a helmet. Yeah, I was thinking more like this one, the one that just kind of covers your eyes and whatnot. Huh. And it even said cold caps for chemotherapy. Interesting. Well, I'm glad they've figured that out. I mean, in all honesty. So future, future diagnoses can maybe prevent something. I mean, I hate to be superficial. I mean, would you rather be healthy and lose your hair, or be sick and keep your hair? I mean, I get it. At the end of the day, if you can be healthier and live a healthy life, that's awesome. But I get it. We still, having hair is something we all deal with. I mean, it's something most men have gotten more used to. But I know for myself, I'm someone who I struggle with the idea of balding. That's why I've done so much stuff to try to keep my hair. I've been on Keeps for, what has it been, like it's been over 3 years now. I've been on Keeps, and anybody who saw me before, I'm probably going to give Keeps a little plug on one of our episodes. Saw my hair before, it was really thinning, and I mean, you can tell it's still thin, but I mean, looks pretty good. I do have a good receding hairline. My hairline, you probably used to be more up here. You can definitely see on the sides, but the Keeps has definitely helped my hair. It's a lot healthier than what it ever used to be. I watched someone use it, and you can see the coldness, almost like steam coming from the cold cap. So it's really cold. Wow. Yeah, I feel like that might even give you like a brain freeze. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Healthy and no hair, definitely. Exactly. And when I say that, I'm not trying to, minimize the idea of like someone not wanting to lose their hair, because I've been in that place. But I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy that they've figured out that works. That's awesome. Unfortunately, a little painful, so trying to figure out a way around that. Before we get into our next topic here, just a little self-check reminder. Quick self-check while we transition. Check your hydration levels. Do you need a drink? Do you need a refill? What do you got going on? Water, herbal tea, soda, energy drinks? What's your beverage of choice? Maybe it's an adult beverage. Hey, no judgments here. Have you unclenched your jaw in the last hour? This is something that a lot of us, we do more often than we realize. We clench our jaws. I'm horrible for it, and I try to recognize it whenever I can. Unclench those jaws a little bit. Give yourself a break. Take your tongue, put it on the back of your mouth, almost touching the top of your teeth where they meet your roof of your mouth, and then just let your bottom jaw rest. When's the last time you blinked? Right? If you're looking at this on your phone, I'm not telling you to take a break, right? We're a short show, but maybe pull the screen back from your face a little bit. Right? If you're watching this on a TV, just don't be too close. What they always used to tell you, don't sit too close to the TV, it'll make you go blind, which apparently is not true, but still not good for your eyes. And if you answered no to any of those things, fix yourself. I'll wait. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, take care of yourself. That's why we're here. I want all of my wellness warriors taking care of themselves. I need you healthy as we take on the world of wellness, where self-care is on clearance. Here at Bargain Brand Wellness, we're probably not FDA approved, right? But personal growth should not require a subscription. That's why we do what we do. We're live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So we're happy to have our viewers where we have them. Hope you guys are enjoying the show already. We're just got done talking about cold plunges, and we're getting ready to jump into our next segment, which some of you might like, some of you might not like the idea of it. It depends on how addicted you are to using your cell phone or other devices. We're going to get into that in here in just about 1 minute. I know you all, as soon as I said it, you all went to go refill your water bottle, right? You're like, oh shoot, I need 12 more ounces before the day's over, right? I know some people do. I've never done that whole thing where I actually measured how much water I drink. I already drink enough liquids throughout the day, and I gotta pee constantly. I think that's something that happens as you get older. I'll go to the bathroom, and 20 minutes later, it's like, damn, I gotta go again. But some of it's also my anxiety. If I think that I'm not going to get to go for a while because of like a meeting or training or a podcast, I'll start thinking about it, and then all of a sudden I'll have to go to the bathroom, but I really don't even have to go. I get a nervous bladder, I guess, maybe. All right, let's get into our next segment, right? Which is on digital detox retreats. Let's get into this. All right, let's talk about the hottest new thing in wellness. Paying thousands of dollars to not use the thing you're already mad at 90% of the day. Welcome to the world of digital detox retreats. You know, places where you check into a cabin, hand over your phone, and pretend you're living in the year 1847, but with slightly better snacks. The idea is simple. No screens, no doom scrolling, no arguing in the comment section with strangers named swordfighter_77. Just you, your thoughts, and the distant sound of birds judging you for not touching grass sooner. In theory, it's beautiful. In practice, well, let's just say some of us have separation anxiety from our notifications. Just saying. One time I went camping. Real rugged, off the grid camping. And on day 2, I found myself trying to scroll a pine cone like it was a phone. That's when you know the detox is necessary. Look, the research is clear. Tech addiction leads to higher anxiety and lower focus. Social media makes us feel simultaneously overwhelmed and somehow never enough. Constant alerts mess with our sleep cycles and stress hormones. Taking a tech break, genuinely powerful stuff. But, and here's the bargain brand reality check, you don't need a $4,000 retreat. Yes, that's how much these cost or can cost. You don't need a $4,000 retreat in the desert led by a guy named Eagle Spirit to disconnect. You could literally just turn off your phone, put it in a drawer, go outside, go touch the grass, touch a leaf, boom, you're healed. Poll time. Would you survive 48 hours without your phone? Type yes if you could, or no if the thought just gives you chest pains. Here's the thing. It's not about hating technology. Tech is amazing. Without it, we wouldn't be here right now, doing this show, connecting across cities, states, maybe even countries. It's about asking, are you controlling your tech? Or is your tech controlling you? Big difference. So next time you're doom scrolling at 2 a.m., wondering why you feel like a boiled potato, right? Maybe it's time for a tiny detox. And no, you don't have to spend your rent money to do it. Mic drop. So, what are your thoughts on that one? Could you go long periods of time without your phone? 48 hours, right? If you had to, could you go 48 hours without your phone or any other type of device? What about you, Channing? Could you go without your phone for 48 hours? That's true. He said it wouldn't be the first time. That's true. He's been grounded from his phone for numerous times for months. So touche. Good point. So Channing definitely could. Mom, you said yeah. That doesn't probably. You're not really much of a. You're not. I mean, I don't want to say you have a cell phone, but I don't feel like you're the type who lives on your cell phone, constantly doom scrolling, apps, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever it is you check out. And once again, this is no judgment towards everyone. I've said this on numerous episodes before. This is one of the greatest inventions ever made. But are you able to put it down? Are you able to walk away and do something else and not have to worry about that notification? Not an easy thing to do for a lot of us. A lot of us are addicted to these things. Here's what I'm asking. Are you aware that you're addicted to it? If you are or you're not, are you aware of whether or not you're addicted to your device? And think about that. When you're getting ready to leave, right? If you forgot your phone, how big of a problem is that, right? Let's say, and I'm not talking about going to work for the day. Let's say you're taking a 20-minute trip. You're running to the store real quick. Hola, Channing Lawson. Thanks for joining us. You're running to the store real quick. You're going to be gone 20 minutes. Halfway there, you're like, oh, shoot, I forgot my phone. Are you turning around to go get it? Or I'm only going to be gone a couple minutes. I don't need my phone. Are you going to keep going and just look at it when you get back? Might have a slight addiction, right? Are you constantly touching it, right? A lot of us, this has kind of become our new fidget device. We like to have something in our hands. This has become that thing, right? So just be aware. That's all I say. Maybe detox yourself a little bit. I know it's something that I try to do. I can feel it in myself. If I'm on my phone, especially earlier in the morning, after I've been on my phone, doom scrolling, even though I'm kind of doing more research, after about 20 minutes, I have to get up and move. Right? I can't just stay on my phone that whole time. So that's helpful for me, but I know some people who can sit on their phone for hours upon hours. And while I'm not being judgmental, I'm going to be honest with you. Hours upon hours upon hours, that is not healthy. Not for your physical body or for your mental health. Yes, and many teenagers, unfortunately, create those mental habits. So, but I'd never heard of it. I kind of just stumbled across digital detox retreats, which I guess is for people who kind of need someone to force them to stay off of their devices. They're like, listen, I want to. I know I need to, but I can't do it myself. So I'm going to pay you thousands of dollars to not let me get on my device for 2 days. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money I ain't got. I guess if you got money to spend it. Of course, if I get that kind of money, in all honesty, if I get that kind of money and I feel like I need a break from my phone, I'm just going to break the sucker. I can afford a new one. I'm just going to break it. They put out a new one every 6 months, it seems like. I'm just going to break it and go buy a new one. There you go. Problem solved. Let's play a quick little game before we get into our next segment. This or that. All right. Pick one. Cold plunges or warm bubble baths. You guys can throw your answers there in the chat. Cold plunge or warm bubble bath. If you're using the bubbles, you got to make sure I use the Sesame Street bubble bath. I can still smell it. I still remember the memories as a kid. Ashley says she's taking a bath. Nice warm bubble bath, some candles. Barry Manilow playing in the background. Maybe. Mom says the warm bath too. And I feel like most people are probably going to choose the warm bubble bath. The cold plunge, I'm going to do it one of these days. The closest I've done is 1 year I forgot to take the steps out of my pool. And we had to get them out because it was like January. It was probably too late, but it wasn't quite frozen over, but the water was cold. And the steps are heavy because they kind of fill up with water. So I jumped down into the water, Tammy, Channing, and Jeremiah were up top, kind of pulling it. And I remember just jumping in and just having that rush. That and I'm like, all right, go, go, go. I had the strength of 1,000 men for that moment. I probably could have lifted it by myself. I think so. But that was the closest I've gotten to a cold plunge. And it probably wasn't the 34 degrees that I was telling you Joe Rogan does. It was probably closer to, it's probably the upper 30s, maybe in the 40s. But it was definitely, yeah, kind of like the holy plunge, right? Where the football players from the different high schools will, in the early March, after the Rocky Gap Lake Habib has started to unthaw, that water is still cold, and there's EMS there, there's firefighters, there's police there. These kids run down that water. They only go down they go all the way to the ropes, which for most of us is usually only up to about our nipple line. You do have to dive in, and a lot of people are going through, and yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. I wouldn't mind doing that. Teresa says she'd also take the warm bubble bath. Do I have no one in here that would take the cold plunge? I'll be honest, if you got, here's my probably scariest concern that I would have with it is how much shock would it throw someone into? Like, if you're not if you're not the healthiest person, is that maybe not a good idea for you to do? Right? That's kind of where my mind's going. It's probably not the smartest thing. But if you're young, relatively healthy, you could probably do the cold plunge. I definitely want to try it. Yes, you spelled cold plunge right, Channing. Good job. Channing said he'll do the cold plunge. He said it's not that bad. He did his first holy plunge last year. He said it wasn't that bad. You went all the way to the rope, didn't you? And under. Oh, yeah, you actually went like into the water, that's what the real men do, right? They get into the water. They get in there and enjoy it. Hopefully some of you all saw my video earlier. I'm trying to find up, I mentioned last week that I was trying to find ways to incorporate more of my TikToks that I was doing. I know a lot of you who kind of watch my stuff like some of the TikToks I would do. Not the clips from the old show, but just the different things that it was just me that I would do. I'm trying to find new ways to kind of bring that in. So I did an off-brand affirmation. There was 3 different ones. It's going to be kind of a series that we do. If you haven't seen that, I posted it on TikTok under my personal account. I also posted it on Facebook as a reel. I don't think I got a chance to post it on YouTube yet as a short, so I'm going to post that one as well. But if you didn't see it, go check it out. I thought it was relatively clever. But here's another off-brand affirmation for you. I'm doing my best, and if my best today is not just flipping a table, that still counts. Breathe it in, own it, live your truth. Right? We talk about progress. Progress is not just an upward slope. Progress might be an upward slope, a plateau, fall back down, back up, back down, way back up, way back down, plateaued and way back. That's still progress. You're taking steps in the right direction. All right? That's progress. So any little extra thing you can do that thing and enjoy it. See, we got almost 1,500 likes over on TikTok. Let's see if we can get those numbers up just a little bit. I think our number one liker over there had to step out for a moment. He probably had a game or something he had to go to. But anybody who pops in over there, let's see if we can get those likes up to 1,500. Jenny, don't hurt yourself. We'll take it though. We'll take it. Mom says I took a cold plunge as a teenager when at church camp. We hiked to a stream in the mountains and went swimming. The water was so cold, our skin immediately felt numb. Ooh, I bet. Yeah, I can imagine that. I know that water right now, I know it's been warmer, but that water is still darn near ice cold. But my little ones, they jump in it no problem. And anybody who knows Reagan knows Reagan's a swimmer. that girl would get in that water and she would stay in that water. Like, just as if it was the middle of summer. Now, when she gets out, she's going to be shivering and her lips will probably be a little bit blue. But, yeah. All right, we're up to over 1,700 likes over there on TikTok. Appreciate that. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for sharing the live, Channing, over there. See if we can get a few more people in over here. See if they can enjoy the content. Getting ready to get into our third and final topic for the day. This could be an interesting one. I'm not going to lie to you. That's something I've never even heard of. Called laughter yoga. Laughter yoga. I guess that's not totally true. I have heard of something similar to that. I do. Sometimes I do versions of Tai Chi. I do what's called Qigong. It's kind of movements, just flowing movements with breathing. And one of the things it'll have you do is kind of like as you're breathing out, it'll have you like really kind of mouth breathe, like ha, ooh, ha. Like it has you kind of do that, and it's kind of feels funky, it kind of feels goofy, but it at the same time as you're doing it, you can't really do that thing and be mad. So I think that's kind of the whole purpose behind laughter yoga. Last year, Jeremiah's party, remember how cold Reagan was? Yeah, and she loves it. She loves it. When I sent her a picture. I took the tarp off the pool. I sent her and the other little ones, Connor and Chloe, a picture, and Reagan immediately called me wanting to know if she can come swim. The water's green. I mean, the bottom of the pool's covered in algae. I got to get the water circulating a little bit, get some chemicals in there. But I mean, it's healthy. It ain't gonna hurt you to jump in. But that girl would literally jump in the water. So. All right, let's get into our third and final topic on laughter yoga. All right, wellness warriors, welcome to the magical, slightly chaotic world of laughter yoga. Yes, it's a real thing. No, you don't have to be flexible. You just have to be willing to look mildly ridiculous in public. In laughter yoga, the goal is simple. Fake laugh until you real laugh. It's kind of like tricking your brain into releasing happy chemicals by being a little bit unhinged on purpose. And the best part, you don't even need a reason to laugh. You just show up, start giggling, and let your brain figure out the logic later. Here's how a typical session goes. First, you warm up your body with deep breathing, big exaggerated inhales and exhales that kind of make you look like you're preparing to blow out the sun. Then the giggles start. You make yourself laugh. Yes, fake it. And your brain, which honestly can't tell the difference between fake and real laughter, starts dumping endorphins like it's throwing a party. Stress hormones go down, immune functions go up, and you start feeling like you just ran a 5K without the inconvenience running part. Right? Have you ever laughed so hard that your stomach literally starts to hurt? That's what we're talking about. And sometimes it gets so real that people just collapse onto the floor laughing. No shame. In fact, collapsing in laughter is basically the Olympic gold medal of laughter yoga. It's like your body saying, you know what? I'm good. I'm done pretending I'm stressed today. Plus, I cannot stress this enough. It's the cheapest ab workout you will ever find. No sit-ups, no planks, just pure, unfiltered chaos. So, let's watch a short video of what laughing yoga looks like. I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit creepy, if I'm being totally honest, but I get it. So here's the heart of it all, my friends. You can't always outthink your anxiety. You can't overanalyze your way out of burnout, but you can out-laugh it. Laughter yoga reminds us that joy doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a perfect life, a perfect body, or even a perfect joke. You just need a willingness to let yourself look a little silly and a whole lot of heart. So if your day feels heavy, or if your brain feels fried, if your soul feels like it needs a reboot, maybe, just maybe, it's time to laugh yourself back to life. Mic drop. We just did that thing. Up to 3,500 likes there on TikTok. Thanks for that, Channing. Appreciate you. What's that? Oh, yeah? She popped in for a moment? Oh, thank you, my dear. Thanks, Isaiah. Thanks for popping by and liking the live. Up to 3,600. I don't know, y'all. I think y'all can get those numbers up. Joey got us up to 6,000 almost by himself. Actually, almost 7,000 by himself last week. Right? I don't think we're gonna match the 17,000 we got there a couple weeks ago, but yeah, we're having a good time up here. We're almost at 4,000 likes over there on TikTok. Let's see if we can keep that like train going. Right? If you're joining us or just joining us, right, you can catch us on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're live about 8:30 p.m. As I mentioned before, Friday, we might do a little bit of a later stream, or we might just start at the same time and just go a little bit later. But we typically stream for about an hour, maybe a little bit over if we've got good conversation going. Why are you guys saying good morning? Your all's days are just kind of a little messed up a little bit. But we're over here having a good time. We're having a miraculous Monday. I've got my warriors, my wellness warriors, my crew, my enterprise, my entourage, my self-care connoisseurs over here. Where self-care is on clearance, as we always say, it's probably not FDA approved, right? But your personal growth shouldn't require a subscription. So stick around, hang out with us, check us out. We're up to almost 5,000 likes over there on TikTok. Thank you all for popping in. We love you. We appreciate all the support. And we're over here doing our thing. Our 3 topics we've covered today. We started off by talking about cold plunges. Anybody who's ever heard of that trend or ever joined in that trend, right? It's something I desperately want to do. I want to get a cold plunge. Just gotta talk to wife into letting me get one. We'll see. Right. We also talked about what else did we talk about? We talked about digital detox. Right, and then we talked about laughter yoga. Right. As we kind of look, Mondays is kind of looking to be our wellness trend day, right? Where we look at, merging new or, even slightly older wellness trends across the world, right? And when I say wellness trends, I'm not just talking, a specific topic. We're talking about anything wellness, right? Food, diet, supplements, exercise, right? Mental health, cold plunges, right? Any trend that you're hearing about, feel free to share that with us. Right, we'll take a deep dive into that. In fact, we actually learned a little something new today, that we were talking about cold plunges, and Ashley shared with us about cold caps being used to kind of help cancer patients who are getting chemo. Apparently, these cold caps can help you keep from losing your hair. Right? Apparently it's a newer thing. So, hey, we learn stuff over here all the time, which is, kind of one of our other mottos is I tell people all the time, I'm a student of wellness. I'm not an expert on this, but I don't mind sharing my knowledge with people. I'm pretty well informed in the wellness area. It's a passion of mine. I enjoy it. And, I invite you to kind of go on this journey with us as we're having a good time. I forgot to look again. We're coming up on about our 1 month anniversary of streaming Bargain Brand Wellness. I gotta see when our first one is. we started on a Wednesday, so I feel like it could be this coming Wednesday. We gotta look it up. We might have to celebrate, do a little 1 month anniversary party. Celebrate good times, come on. Yes, I used to do karaoke for a living. Just joking. But I can do a pretty mean karaoke. I'm just gotta warm up my pipes a little bit. But so, rapid fire wellness question. If you could instantly master one wellness skill without putting in any work, what would it be? Yoga handstands, perfect meal prepping, or maybe just drinking enough water without being personally attacked by your bladder? Throw your thoughts there in the chat. What's the one wellness skill you wish you could master without putting any work into it? I can think of several for myself. I can tell you that. I can tell you probably the one for me that really stands out the most, and I was sharing this with Channing earlier, and I've shared this with a bunch of other people. As much as I love going to the gym, every morning, my, that ego part, that subconscious part of your brain that's kind of right there in the back, it gives me 100 different reasons why I don't need to go to the gym. And sometimes it talks me out of it. Sometimes it wins. However, sometimes I have to literally get up, look at myself in the mirror, and tell myself, don't be a bitch. Excuse my language. That's sometimes the only thing that works. So that's probably the one thing I wish I could master. I wish I could kind of develop more of I didn't need to do that all the time. It kind of goes back to what we talked about last week with discipline. Instead of me saying that I wish I could do that thing more, I need to start kind of painting a picture for myself that I am someone who goes to the gym 5 times a week. I am someone who doesn't need to, contemplate his life decisions in order to get up and go to the gym every day. That's probably my one. What do you all have? What's the one wellness skill? What do you think, Channing? Mentally strong. I mean, there's no right or wrong answers. That's not really a skill. You're giving me very vague statements. I need the mood criteria here. I need something something that's observable, measurable, objective. Now I understand why your teachers get so frustrated with you. What is the one wellness skill that you wish you could master without putting any work into it? Being able to do a yoga headstand, perfect meal prepping, maybe just drinking enough water without having to go pee every 20 minutes, which as a teenager, you really shouldn't have that problem. I got one for you. It doesn't need to be inappropriate. I got one. You need to eat more, which most people wouldn't necessarily think is a wellness skill. But I think you need to eat more. Someone who's trying to bulk up for sports, you don't eat enough. And when you do eat, you eat junk. Not trying to be judgmental. That's not what we do on this channel. But you need to eat more food, more protein. And just drinking a protein shake isn't going to do it for you. Good job. He had 2 packs of oodles and noodles, ladies and gentlemen. Send the word out to the press. Our offbeat fact break as we get ready to kind of close out the evening. Sloths only poop once a week. Scientists. It's funny because the sloth is my background on this. That is funny. On the back of my laptop here, the sloth is my background. I've really just realized that. Sloths only poop once a week. Scientists still don't know why, but honestly, if that isn't the ultimate patience flex, I don't know what is. You're doing great. You're doing way better than a sloth's digestive system right now, so be proud of yourself. That's funny. We're getting ready to close out here in just a few minutes. Before we do that, we're going to jump into our off-brand thought for the day, which is kind of our hot take on today's episode. Sometimes it might be kind of a combination of all three topics, or it might just kind of pick one and take a really hot take on it, which could even be a little controversial, right? Try not to be political over here. We might occasionally get into some political conversations, but probably not. Probably not. But we're over here having a good time regardless. So let's get into this before we decide to close out this thing. All right, wellness warriors, time for today's off-brand thought. If doom scrolling is junk food for the mind, then half of us are living on emotional hot pockets right now. And not the good kind neither. The kind that burns your mouth on the outside, yet stays frozen in the middle. Doom scrolling tricks you. It feels important. It feels productive. It feels like you're doing civic duty staying informed. But most of the time, you're just microwaving your anxiety and calling it a snack. Every angry tweet, every horror headline, every anonymous argument you win at 2 a.m., it's all cortisol, the stress hormone, pouring into your brain. Over time, doom scrolling doesn't make you smarter. It makes you more tired, more anxious, more hopeless. If living on cotton candy and wondering why you feel sick all the time. But here's the thing. You don't have to quit technology. You just have to feed your mind better fuel. Mental superfoods look like this. A real conversation. A short walk. Laughing with a friend. Reading something that reminds you the world isn't ending. Yet. 5 minutes of real world wonder beats 5 hours of online despair every single time. So here's your off-brand wellness challenge for the week. Replace 5 minutes of doom scrolling with 5 minutes of something that actually feeds your brain. Because you only get one brain, my friend. Don't feed it junk, feed it life. And that's today's off-brand thought. Now go treat your mind like it's a VIP at a 5-star restaurant, not a raccoon raiding the dumpster behind a gas station. Air, mic drop. Airdrop. But if you have an iPhone, you know. We're over here on this miraculous Monday. We're getting ready to wrap up for the evening. We've got just under 6,000 likes over there on TikTok. We're at 5,966 in my account. But we appreciate the love. Right, we're live also on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We will be back on Wednesday, same time, same place, 8:30 p.m. Find us on your platform of choice. Right, whatever you're comfortable joining us on, we're here. Right, as I said before, we're trying to kind of push people more towards YouTube, right, Twitch, TikTok, kind of areas where there's monetization. I don't know that Facebook Live has any type of monetization. We don't do this for the money, but we are looking to maybe kind of monetize this so we can give better quality content at some point. And we can't do that if we ain't making nothing. So we're kind of pushing people towards YouTube, right, which is where I post videos. I upload our live streams on there. You can find everything. You can find our smaller clips, our shorts from the episodes over there. So feel free to shoot over to Bargain Brand Wellness on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. If you're into Twitch, or if you've ever watched anything on Twitch, you can find us over at BBW_live. Over there, give us a follow. Right, I'm still kind of relatively new to the Twitch thing, so there's a whole bunch of stuff on here that I do not understand. But we'll figure that out. And then you can find us on Facebook and TikTok under my personal accounts. For TikTok, we did that for now because that's where the majority of my followers are at. As we can start building the Bargain Brand Wellness name, we'll probably start streaming on that account. But for the time being, we'll stick with mine. And as I mentioned before, Facebook, we'll keep doing that as long as we get some viewers over here. But eventually, I'd like to kind of push everyone towards these monetization sites. So Yeah. No. I just realized I forgot to put on the background music as we were going through. We were having such a good time today. We didn't even realize it wasn't on. I don't know how much you guys can usually hear, but it's nice for me to have a little background noise on my side, kind of fill any quiet spots. But yeah, we had another good episode. Another good episode. So yeah, I say let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. I hope you guys have a great evening. Right, get a good night's sleep. Get your 8. Have a great day tomorrow. And yeah, we're going to see you on Wednesday. All right, let's do our little closing here. And that's going to wrap up tonight's adventure. From frozen toes to unplugged brains to laughter yoga and a few off-brand life lessons along the way. Remember, wellness doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be complicated. And it definitely doesn't have to mean plunging yourself into freezing water just because someone named Flex McBuffbro said it builds character. Your self-care is supposed to fit you, not the trends, not the marketing, not the algorithm. If all else fails, just remember to hydrate, meditate, and also speculate. And if you got something out of tonight's episode, show a little love. Drop a like, leave a comment, or awkwardly salute your screen like we're starting a wellness revolution. I'll see you next time, Wellness Warriors. Stay weird, stay wonderful, and as always, make it worth your wellness.